Synchronize.
I think we're recording.
Yep.
All
I see
right.
it.
Hi everyone. I'm Amandaannsharp, the mom. Aaron LaDuke, the dad, and our sweet baby AJ is still off at sea, ish.
Right.
So he might pop on today, but our expectations pretty low, wouldn't you say, Aaron?
We hope to see him.
We hope to see him, but I'm giving it like a 10% chance that that AJ will rain on.
They'll rain on.
Will rain.
Chair was getting a little squeaky, so
I have regretted not changing my chair because can you hear that?
Sounds like a car breaking down.
I know. I'm gonna have to try and sit real still, which is very hard for me.
I fidget. Going back and rewatching these, I don't realize how much I move. I don't know if I just have a ton of energy or.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I do.
Why would anyone want another realtor?
That's very true. Very true. I had a blast yesterday with somebody.
Like showing houses?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was great. We had a good time. We saw a ton of houses.
When you say a ton, how many?
I want to say 6.
In this market, that's a ton.
I try to do 3. But then, she found a couple others. We snuck them in. Maybe it was 5.
But still, I mean, just the fact that you guys actually were able to find that many to look at, that's pretty impressive. Her area must be pretty large, or she must be very open-minded.
Both, I think. Both. She we fit the 2 in too. Like the
nice.
2 of them were on the fly. I was like, oh sure, see if we can get in. I'm already out, and it was downriver, so
that's kind of the thing. Like if somebody wants to throw another one in, it really only tightens up our schedule to look at the other ones. So sometimes it's even a better use of my time, because if I'm just showing one house, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I talk all the time. And next thing I know, it's like an hour showing for no reason.
Well, these were perfect. These were actually right at the end.
Nice.
She's like, hey, my husband texted me 2 more. And I was like, oh, sure. Okay. Maybe we can get in. And we could.
And tell me if you agree with me, because I'm sure you feel this way. Say I'm setting at 3 and that middle one goes under contract. That's a pain.
What do you do? Yeah. Oh.
All that hard work at scheduling, now you go, man, now I got to reschedule. And with the market being so busy, a lot of times, I've only scheduled because that was the time that was permitted, because there were so many other slots taken up already. So there has been a time or two that I've had to show something in the morning and in the afternoon or evening just to get us in. It's great. I know.
Terrible.
It's exhausting, not just for us, but for our buyers. And I mean, our buyers obviously work. So for them to be able to be that flexible, it is very hard. But if they're not, they're going to lose out on houses potentially.
We ended up, I ended up taking the wife around, and then she was excluding things on the list. And then when the husband got out of work, he wanted to see the one that she liked.
Sure.
And then we wrote the offer on it. So that it worked out well.
That was when we were house hunting. I would kind of look at them, and then I would take Marcus to the ones that were my favorites. And
very efficient.
Found a whole lot. All right. So let's just kind of go back into Marcus and I house hunting in 2014 after the military.
Okay.
I tend to, you know me, I tend to see things beyond what they're actually physically present condition. You know what I mean?
You see potential in people and objects.
I do. So there were some houses that I absolutely fell in love with, and the one, he's like, Amanda, this house has rats and bats. So this house was called, he named it the Rats and Bats house, and I was like, but it's perfect. And he's like, no. He never tells me no. So when he does, he's like, no. It was on the river and it was so beautiful, but I mean, looking back, he was right. So I just really liked it. And then there was another house that actually is on the same road that we live on now. And it was really bad. He's like, Amanda, do you feel like when you're in this house, this was prior to me being an agent too. Do you feel in your house that we're leaning? I'm like, oh, that can get fixed.
That can get fixed.
Him knows well how motion sick I get. He's like, Amanda, you wouldn't even be able to walk up these stairs without puking. Fair enough. So that's what he had to deal with when we were house hunting.
I got to go back to the rats and bats house.
Oh,
When you
sure.
were
Take me
in the
back.
home, did you see rats and bats or just evidence of rats
There
and
was
bats?
definitely evidence. I did not see any. So it seemed very likely that he was correct in that there were rats and bats. It was, you know why I like that house? One, it was on the river and it did have some good property. It would have been a pain in the butt to try and like pull in and out of because it was right off of M50.
Hmm.
So I would not have liked that because, I'm kind of like a grandma driver. But it really had the same charm as our very first home. Yet on the property, kind of in the like privacy that we were looking for, like at this season. And so I think that's why I liked it. And there was like an apartment that was the nicest part of the entire house above the garage that was
Oh, cool.
detached. And that would have been really cool for like Owen to eventually, move out into, but still be with me. So maybe I was a little attached to that too. I don't know. But yeah, so that one's still called the Rats and Bats house.
Have you ever seen any rats on a showing or listing appointment?
No. Saw alligators.
That's right.
Saw
That's right.
alligators. No mice or I've not I've seen dead mice, which is fair. I mean, we're very rural. We always struggle with that word.
Don't make me. Don't make me.
Very rural. So I think mice are very common when we're showing houses, but not no rats or bats that were alive, although that would be kind of good, content if it happened.
I know, kind of sad.
Right? I know.
My worst is a dead frog in a crawl space. It was
Oh, that's
after
sad.
our last podcast. You were talking
Oh,
about dead animals. I'm like, man, I've never seen a dead animal, and I popped the crawl
boom.
space, and it was like sprawled out. And of course, they
Oh,
had two little boys. And like, is he dead? I'm like, he's resting.
he's
Put the lid
resting.
back
And
on.
they get real stiff. Like they get like you pick them up by like a leg and they'd probably stay flat. So sad.
Well, I wasn't picking up the dead frog.
I mean, I'm not saying I would ever do that either.
I mean, I would if it was not in the crawl space, and it was a deep crawl space, so I'd have to and there was water. It was not a.
Ooh. Oh, here he thought he had like the world and then he got dead. That is so sad.
Nope.
He didn't. Grass isn't always greener, little frog. That's so sad. Ooh,
Nope.
I just got an alert. Tomorrow's Independence Day. What are your plans for tomorrow?
We are headed to Maumee State Park for a week-long family reunion with my mother-in-law's family, and
Sounds
I
wonderful.
couldn't be more excited, blessed to be able to attend this.
If you guys are listening to the podcast, just by listening, you might want to hop onto Facebook or YouTube and just see the excitement in this man's face.
Yeah, I'll still try to TikTok.
You have to see it to believe it.
I know, and I'm in sales, people. And I'm in sales.
It sounds like a dream.
It is. It's gonna be fun. I'm just.
It's gonna be hot.
It is, and my calendar with work is already booking up. So like, we leave tomorrow morning. I have showings like all tomorrow morning.
Luckily, it is in an area that is not too far away because,
right.
You can have other people help and yada, yada, yada. But it is nice when you can service your own clients.
Well, and I'm hands-on, and it's really stuff I don't want to outsource. Monday, I've got photos for listing. I've got an inspection, and then I have another listing presentation. So,
Nice. Listen to that listing presentation.
No big deal. Anyway, that's Monday, and then I thought I got other stuff. Oh, I have 2 closings on Tuesday.
Yeah, you do. Woo woo! It's remarkable how busy. I guess, okay, for anyone listening in the future, this is being recorded in July of 2020, and I think it's safe to say any realtor did not know what to expect from the market post lockdown, right?
Right, could have gone either way.
Right, it could have went because we're still within this pandemic, span of time, but we were locked down where we weren't able to work and mortgage things were changing. So we just really didn't know. So I know personally it has exceeded any expectation that I could have hoped for, that the market would go on and that we wouldn't have to seek a different employment because things would have just went so
Right.
you know?
I heard someone got an interest rate of 2.75%. I think that's
And
what the market closed at yesterday.
And I don't know, like, I'm not really good with like money stuff as far as like the market and all that. I pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I get interest rates for houses because that's an important part of our job, but thank goodness that they are being controlled to the point where they are low, because I do think that that has helped our business significantly. Immensely. I mean, it's a Band-Aid, but I mean, they're still making money. Mortgage companies are still making money. The buyers are getting in houses. There's just so many buyers now because of it.
Yeah. True.
Well, I mean, there's so many buyers because the interest rates are so great right now, but also there's just so many buyers because inventory has been so low for well over a year, and we just have all this pent up demand. So there's getting no relief of buyers in a timely manner. So just more and more buyers, more and more competitive, and it's hard to be a buyer right now. I think we said this a million times in our podcast before today, but whew, hang in there, buyers.
I had a client almost give me a heart attack yesterday.
That's not good.
So closing on Tuesday morning,
Yeah.
I get a phone call and he sounds very sad.
Oh, God.
And he kept saying, I just found out, my boss just told me, my boss just told me, I went to work today, my boss just told me. I was like, what did your boss tell you? I thought he lost his job.
Tell you?
Yeah, I thought he lost his job. I'm like, oh no, this is going to fall through. And he's like, yeah, I got to work Monday morning. I'm really sorry. I'm like, oh, this is not a problem. This is not a problem. So,
that's a fixable, workable issue.
Yeah,
we're furloughed for the moment, which happened to, I think, everyone who had a pending transaction for the most part. There was some sort of delay. If it wasn't close to closing when this happened, because I think everyone pretty much got delayed. I mean, I'm still working on one from January because of all of the side effects from. Oh,
jeez.
I know.
That's right.
Whew, I'm hoping maybe in 2 weeks we can close that baby, but I don't know. I mean, at least we got through, I think, all the hurdles. So as long as there's not a statewide like lockdown again, I think we're going to make the closing table this month.
We just hold out to August, people. Just hold out to August.
Well, and it's really, so I've been thinking, like, how do you help buyers right now? Because great buyers are getting beat out by great buyers. And it's hard for a buyer to understand that.
It is.
It's really hard that a house goes active on Saturday and by Sunday evening it's under contract. And
yeah.
I don't know what to, like, I mean, they don't believe you until it continues to happen, and it's a terrible blow. But when I just acquired a new buyer and I said, I need you to listen to me when I say we have to get into a house a certain day. And I go, I'm going to get bossy and I apologize, but if you can't get in, that's not my fault. You know what I mean? My job is to offer to get you in. And if you can't accommodate, know that house is probably going to be gone, because it's just so crazy
exactly
now. In my one listing just recently, like I'm still getting calls from realtors that are upset that it's already pending. I mean, when you have X amount of wonderful offers, like what more are you hanging on to?
Exactly.
It's inconveniencing a seller with more showings.
Right. And we'll just let these offers expire and hope that they'll take them,
right.
So we can get more showings. I don't want
to be disrespectful to the very first offer that we got the day before.
Right. I don't.
Again, like, you can keep it open for a week, but then your offers are only going to be this, like, you're going to have 20 of the same great offers.
The only time I get mad at a seller, and this recently happened, I tried to call them, said, hey, I'm writing you an offer tonight. Like, it's coming in, hands down, offer's coming in.
Coming in hot.
Left a voicemail, texted the agent, got nothing.
Oh.
So I submitted the offer, texted this person again, said, hey, offer was sent. Please confirm that you got it. Nothing. I call her in the morning and I said, hey, I'd just really like to confirm that you got it. Sometimes things happen. They're like, oh, yeah, we accepted an offer last night. And like, we wrote for over what they were asking. So like, but again, maybe their offer was better, but I mean, it was hard to beat ours.
I mean, and when you see, I was on the receiving end of a lot of offers just this past weekend, and it's crazy when you're sitting down and you're trying to like rate the offers in like order of how good or bad they are. And when they're all, I've never been in a market that everything coming in is exceptional.
Right.
That's the problem. Like usually, like pre-corona, even last year, like you might get 2 or 3 offers, and there's a clear winner typically.
Right.
But agents, I give them such credit right now. They are coming in with everything. And I mean, these people know how to write an offer, and the buyers are willing to write the offer that way, and they're still losing out. And those were tough conversations to have with those agents. And almost every single one of them said, what could we do better? And I'm like, listen, like there really wasn't. It was just a matter of something fit better with this family, you know, occupancy maybe, or whatever it may be, you know, that it just, because it's just a crazy, crazy market.
I try to teach them too my on to the next theory, because with Falls there's houses on every corner. Some will come for sale. On to the next.
But you know, and that was a lot easier to digest for a buyer when there really was a quicker on to the next. But I have some buyers who are truly waiting 2 weeks before that next one hits the market, and then it's another round of writing your best and hoping it gets accepted. And so I guess and I'll ask you what your tips are to tell buyers that are struggling to get it, is just like keep saving every single penny.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just really, because that is the only way your buying power can get more and more powerful. You know, maybe putting 20% down, or changing your loan type to be a little bit more competitive, or the appraisal gap guarantees. You can't do that if you don't have cash reserves. And so that's really, I mean, at the end of the day, the best advice I could give is just watch every single penny.
Cash is king. Yeah. Sometimes with some of them, you know, they don't hear it. You tell them, listen, this isn't the time to try to get a deal. This is not the time to try to lowball.
I know.
I had a buyer that he thought it was. He lost out on 2 houses.
Yeah.
And then he finally was like, okay, I get it. We're going to write for over. I'm going to cover my closing costs. I mean, he's going up against a time crunch too. But
yeah.
Sometimes they have to lose on stuff before they really realize that, I don't know, we know what we're doing.
And it's just, you know, and I don't blame our buyers, because I feel like they have a lot of exterior voices coming in on them. You know, like it wasn't this way when mom and dad were buying a house.
True.
Unless mom and dad bought in 2020. That's, at the end of the day, it's such a weird market right now. And we're in an area that's never been so crazy like that. I guess if we said Ann Arbor or Grand
California,
Rapids, you know, a place that has just a heavy population, that has really great like home prices, and there are a lot of buyers in those areas. Like they're kind of used to that. And I think the buyers are used to that. It's been a generational thing that it's really kind of always been like that. But for our area that we're servicing, it's rather new.
We'll get there. How is your TikTok addiction coming?
So listen, how are we on time? Let me ask that first.
I will check. We have 12 minutes, and I'm going to share our TikTok handles. Oh, that was an ad.
I don't know mine. Can you tell me it?
I'm looking it up right now.
You're the best. You're the best.
You are.
So I'm amandaannsharp. I think it's just that simple, isn't it?
At amandaannsharp is Amanda's. And
no E on the sharp.
Correct. And I am LaDuke, LaDuke realtor. So there we go. That was our handles. That's all I wanted to accomplish. Handles.
And be gracious and give us time to really figure out our direction in TikTok. But I'm trying. And Owen, anytime he sees it on my phone, he's like, Mom, you're not a teenager. And I'm like, it's not for me.
Oh, there's there's a whole spectrum on TikTok.
I think, you know what I think did that was this Corona. Corona made mamas go on TikTok and dads go on TikTok because they were bored out of their mind, and they went down the rabbit hole. I did. And I didn't get it at first. But now I think I have a good handle on, there's like the following, and then there's like the suggestions. And the suggestions, some of them are like, but some of them are pretty stinking good suggestions. And next thing I know, I'm like, an hour went by. Like, poor Aaron messaged me last night, and I missed it because I was on the TikTok.
That's why. I had a legitimate.
I'm so sorry I missed this.
Work question.
It was a work question, and Yeah, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed, Aaron, and I'm sorry.
Don't be. It was I was resourceful. I ended up getting the answer I needed. That's okay though. You did get back to me. You did get back
I
to me. I
swear
gave you
I'm
the
a good
thumbs up.
answer most of the time. It just, it just, they're good at what they do.
They are. I gotta get you on Snapchat. I am loving Snapchat.
Next time we can get
LaDuke Realtor on Snapchat as well.
That's right.
Sorry.
What is it? Just LaDuke Realtor again?
Yep, LaDuke.
I have no idea what mine is, and I have not done any Snapchatting. I did have it.
I
Just
know.
the
I've
baby
sent you stuff.
Is that what those notifications are? No, it's next time we're together, you're gonna have to show me, or I need to Google how to use Snapchat because I feel like I can't find the snaps chats. I don't.
You know what? It's not intuitive at all. Like TikTok, I figured out just by messing with, but my niece actually had to show. I'll show you Snapchat.
Okay, I think I'll get with it once I have a little direction on how to just. I know I'm just missing something. Because when I click on stuff, it instantly is just trying to message people. I was like, no, I don't want to Snapchat a message to them. Like,
I had trouble finding people's stories
yes.
because AJ I wanted to check in on, initially why I got on, and then now like my niece and I send each other. Actually, Stu and my niece and I we do like the funny faces thing to each other.
Stu, we love Stu.
Stu,
we call Stu because Stu doesn't have an A, and Aaron, Amanda, and AJ do, so he's just Stu, so he's not left out. But that's if you hear Stu, we're talking about Stuart Eastman. Our buddy, our good buddy.
This is the second time we've mentioned him.
Oh, I'm squeaking.
What'd you say?
I said that has a conservatory. The amazing
conservatory shop with an E.
Yes, 2 P's and an E. And it was so cute when he was like, because it was the only domain under $1,000. He said that in his video, and I was like, preach, Stu, because they get you. They know. There's people who just buy domain names so they can sell them to somebody who's desperate enough to pay the new amount.
Totally.
That's why, I'm amandaannsharp on most of my stuff because there's a million Amanda Sharps. So I would really love to eventually get just amandansharp.com, but that probably won't happen because there's some lady that's pretty popular in California with that same name.
Really? I have like a Native American woman named Aaron LaDuke.
Really?
Google it.
I will.
Yeah.
I Google my name frequently, and I just want to show up on the very first page. If it does, I'm like, I kind of made it.
Nailed it.
But it's back to TikTok. So I am trying to. I need to follow more people, so I have more people because I tend to. I'm basically only watching the For You or the suggested ones because I don't have a lot of following yet. Yeah. So I know, I just did Candace Cameron. I was like, ooh, I like you. Yeah, I do. Of course, Aaron LaDuke. But I'm only following 4 people. So that feed's pretty light. And I love all of the options for music.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
It's really neat.
You're doing a really good job of putting stuff to music. I'm jealous of that, and I'm trying to think of ways I could do that as well. But then again, I mean, you got to do you. I got to do me.
Exactly. So my strategy is I know what I want to record or do, and then I try to find the perfect song to go with it. And some of the songs I think are pretty good.
Oh, totally. And I'm big on soundtracks to stuff.
Yeah.
I when Jen and I were dating, I made her
I
burnt her 12 CDs with songs that were playing in the background.
I burnt her.
Yeah. How old am I? I'm burning CDs.
Anyone AJ's age, ask your parents what that means.
Yeah, that's I was meeting with a seller, for sale by owner, and buyer yesterday, and they were talking on when they graduated, and they graduated 9 years after I was born. So oh, thank God, I get to feel young a little bit, but I don't feel as young as I used to in those conversations. Mm-hmm. And then they said when their kids graduated, and I felt super old. So
yeah, it's hard because you just don't feel like that much time has really went by until you have an actual visual in front of you. Like when I was helping my friend I graduated with daughter buy a home, I'm like, this just seems bizarre. And again, we could be AJ's parents for reals. I know we're his fake parents, but for reals, we could be his parents. And really, like, not like we would have had him super, super young, like young, but not like
Young.
15 young. So I like your videos that you're putting on. I like that William's kind of okay to be a part of your TikTok.
Yeah.
I love that last one.
He
He's
he's
such an interesting kid.
he is, and like he kind of wants to be on it, but then he kind of doesn't. And he's 6, which he's on there for very brief periods, but
Yeah.
he doesn't watch TikTok, so I don't know how he knows about the TikTok dancing unless my niece has been showing him
It's
TikTok.
possible.
He's like, Dad, put this on TikTok, and he shakes his butt. And he does this weird dance. I'm like, no, I can't do that.
This is kind of a real estate thing.
Right. But then I like sneak him in.
I did Google machine within TikTok, realtors of TikTok.
I did as well.
Because I kind of wanted to see how people were using it. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't see anything that really excited me. Like, if I was a buyer, I would look and go, I'm going to use that person because of their TikTok. Where like my Facebook following, I mean, my business funnels through Facebook.
That's fair.
You know, I try to, I do feel like Facebook is just a different environment for a professional than TikTok. TikTok's more entertainment.
Exactly.
Right? So when I looked at their stuff, and there were some good-ish ones, but again, nothing that I really said, I want this person. Like, it didn't show anything. But I have to say it's more, if they didn't know any realtors at all and they happened to connect with a realtor on TikTok, I guess, but I'm not 20 or 18 and I don't know how they would view how that realtor looks. I'm seeing it as like a 38-year-old person. So I don't know. What are your thoughts when you researched it?
I think maybe, I got a couple good ideas. I got a couple like really entertaining stuff too for it. And I really think Facebook is more for being professional and TikTok is more for entertainment. Like some of my videos, I'm kind of trying to plug the podcast more on TikTok. Yeah. I think that might be a better platform for that than necessarily real estate. However, I do think
one would feed the other. If
absolutely.
we do it that way, I think so. I agree with you.
I think the only benefit to TikTok would be maybe a younger person sees me as a realtor, some of my videos, and then notices, oh, he's a realtor in my area. I'm kind of a fun guy. That's part of my charm. I know you said like your big sales pitch is the experience of buying and selling with you.
Right.
I think I have a different. It's professional, but a little more lighthearted. I mean, we have some laughs when we're showing houses. And,
sure.
Doing photos for listings and stuff. So it's I don't know. I think if a younger person wanted a more lighthearted but serious realtor, they might see that from my videos and then be like, oh, cool. He works in the area, and then win them over that way. But
yeah, and I guess at the end of the day, it's just another avenue to validate you're a realtor. Whether I just feel like the opportunity to give content that's useful is very minimal.
15 seconds, right?
Yeah. So I like it, but I think almost just for entertainment, like the entertainment. And I think for me, like you're saying, plug more the podcast. I think I could do more with it for pressed rows than possibly my real estate.
I've seen your press. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. And I feel like, I don't know that I want to necessarily be, I don't want to be dancing in my TikToks.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
That's just not me, like, period, at all. I don't dance. I'm not, like, I'm funny, but in a different way. So I'll have to just get creative with my TikToking and figure it out. But like that Full House.
Yeah, we got to do that.
I thought that was really cute. And I thought that's something if we did on TikTok and then just put it to our, real estate pages, that's kind of cute versus.
Right.
It's just another, it doesn't make us look unprofessional.
I don't think so either. And sadly, like a lot of those little collage, like the collage video, you had made one, so I made one. Yeah. That was kind of more for me, like nostalgia purposes. I'm like, okay, now I have a nice little video of, when we first all started working together and some of the memories we had. So like, That's not a marketing thing. That's more like, all right, now I've got this somewhere that it's stored.
It's stored. Yeah. It's a time capsule. And I kind of look at that with all of my social media. It's a way to walk down memory lane. It's a current way of having a photo album where I love, like, one of my first things I do in the morning when I'm on Facebook is, like, before I check even my notifications, I go to my memories, because I think that's really fun to, like, remember, like, a year ago or
All right.
5 years ago, what was happening, and wow, things change.
Well, imagine being able to see what your parents were doing when they were 30. Now that you're 30,
I agree. Or God forbid, I croak.
and you can live on through that.
Yeah, I mean, Owen will
How
have
cool
some
is that?
of the videos to see his silly mom. You'd be like,
Right.
wow, Mom, did you really have to TikTok?
I think it's a.
I know, he's so cute. He's so cute. Okay, so recapping, we talked about a little bit of real estate and how hard it is for buyers right now, but
we can get the job done.
What?
I said, but we can get the job done.
We can get the job done. Just takes a little time. And then our TikTok obsession.
And we gotta get you on Snapchat.
Yeah.
You're missing
Again,
out.
I just need some instruction, and then I'll be a part of it. Because TikTok and Snapchat are right next to each other. And I know you can, like, post to each other.
And, like, you can. I actually, a lot of the stuff I do in TikTok, I have automatically uploaded to Snapchat.
And that's kind of like Instagram, and my Instagram and Facebooks are connected and stuff. And that's super user friendly. So I know once I connect the dots, it'll be perfect.
Let's see here. I'm stalking you right now with your. You don't have an emoji made.
Oh, for Snapchat?
For Snapchat, you opened something I sent you 5 days ago. So Snapchat's like a tattletale. It lets you know if someone's, like,
the
got your stuff
one?
And watched it. I don't know which one you opened, to be honest.
Well, you did the one with, like, the big eyes, and you go, "I got my hair did," or something like that.
Oh yeah. That was. That's the face that Macy and I, my niece and I, use to talk to each other. We don't even text anymore. We just Snapchat. Like, good morning.
I don't know what to do with this. And I found it, like, probably 5 days after you got your haircut. Maybe not 5 days, but I was like, this is so, like, 3 days ago, like, because we had already discussed it.
Right. Yeah, it was a while ago. And I don't know why when I use that filter, I talk with a Southern accent. I can't help it.
I love that you just brought that up, and I know we are over our time, but it is terrible. Anytime I'm in the South or around someone Southern, Amanda gets a Southern accent. I have never lived a day down South. I lived in Texas, but that was more people spoke Spanish. There was no Southern draw in El Paso.
Man, my mother-in-law does that. There's actually a condition. There's a term for it. I don't know if it's a condition. That might have been harsh. There's a term for it. But yeah, you're not the only one.
I take no offense, because if it's a condition, it really kind of makes sense, because I don't even realize I'm doing it. And Marcus gets so embarrassed.
Well, think about, like, from a survival standpoint. Like, maybe you're just, you've evolved to fit into different cultures and different groups. Well, not necessarily, but, like, if you can fit into a group, you're more likely that the group is going to accept you than reject you. And your survival could be based on group acceptance.
Aaron always makes me feel better about my flaws.
Not a flaw. Maybe you've got the advantage.
I might, and I mean, I don't even know if I do it well. It just kicks in, and next thing I know, I'm from Georgia or something. Just.
The best would be if it's a terrible accent. That would be, because then they're like, "Is she insulting us? Is she?"
Well, and that's why Marcus tells me to stop. Because he's like, "Amanda, seriously." And I'll never forget, when I moved back from El Paso, I must have had some sort of something going on with my voice, because I was in, and I won't say the lady's name, but I was in our association doing the new member orientation way back in the day. And the lady turns around and she's like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Here?" "What do you mean?" She's like, "You don't talk like you're from around here." I was like, "What does that mean?"
How long were you in Texas for?
For 4 years. But the problem
That's a long time.
I think what happened, it is a long time, but I don't think I was getting to Texas. We were great friends with our friends from, like, the Boston area. So I feel like there was a combination of like like a little bit of like Spanish, even though I couldn't speak Spanish, but you kind of pick up like certain like flows of words, right? So a little bit of that, a little bit of like that Boston, and then my Northern, which I guess is nasally for those who, I always thought we spoke normal.
Exactly. I thought we were like the standard.
Yeah. And I don't like, no. And the lady just was so like, I can't believe she turned around and be like, where are you from? I'll tell you her name next time I see you.
I have a theory on who this woman is.
I'll confirm it once we stop recording.
Totally fair.
Well, on that note, we'll end this. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we will talk to you next Friday, and maybe our AJ will be out this time.
Fingers crossed. Thanks, everybody. Again, amandaannsharp on TikTok and
LaDuke.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
LaDuke Realtor on TikTok and Snapchat.
LaDuke Realtor. I like it. All right. Talk to you guys next week.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.